back on René of Paris today for another live stream. Today's live stream is going to be kind of a get ready with me doing my makeup and just chatting with you all for a holiday themed look. So of course I have my little holiday sweater on here with the snowman. I just picked this up from a secondhand shop recently because I just wanted to get into the holiday spirit. So I'm really excited to be wearing this today and really getting myself into that time of year. It's getting a little bit festive here. So I'm going to be doing my makeup today, but I'm also going to be putting a little bit of a holiday spin on it. So using some more fun glam colors. I actually have a black tie event coming up, and even though it's not particularly a holiday event, I feel like any events this time of year inherently become a little bit more with the holiday spin on them, so I thought it would be also a really fun way to kind of practice more glam makeup for this event I have coming up, but with a little bit of a holiday twist on it. And of course, every time I do my makeup on live stream here on René of Paris, I always like to incorporate tips on alopecia makeup as well. If you're not familiar with me, I have alopecia. This is a wig that I'm wearing right now, of course. This is Cheyenne from René of Paris in the color Melted Marshmallow. This has kind of been my daily go-to wear wig recently, with that gorgeous lace front and lace part, really natural looking on top, which is what I always love for a daily wear wig. But I also do have a few other wigs that I'm going to be showing and trying on, and of course styling for this holiday look as well. So just gonna come and hang out with me while I do my makeup and get ready for a kind of holiday themed event. So let's see here. I have a couple of fun little accessories I'm going to wear. For a holiday look, I really love to include little hair clips. This is the one I'm going to be using for this video. This really beautiful kind of sparkly rhinestone hair clip, but any sort of like bows or anything like that are really fun to incorporate. Let's see, let's just go ahead and jump right into the makeup. So I do have my primer on already. This is the one that I use every single day from e.l.f. I really like this one because it kind of combines a couple of makeup steps into one, which always makes it a much easier process. I always love things to be nice and easy and quick. So this is kind of like a moisturizer combined with a primer, but it also has SPF in it. So it really is just like combining 3 steps. This is from e.l.f. And if you're not familiar with e.l.f., their makeup line, I feel like they are just constantly stepping up their game. And every new product they release, I think, is just so fun. You're going to see a lot of e.l.f. products in this video, but that's just my personal preference for makeup. A lot of the makeup pieces that I use, you don't have to use a specific brand to achieve this look, so you can use whatever you already have. So I already have that primer on, which again, I always recommend moisturizing your skin, and I always recommend using a primer. I used to not understand the use of primer with makeup, but I just, once I started using it, I just realized how much more smoothly my concealer goes on. I don't even use foundation usually, unless maybe I'm dressing up a lot more for an event. That's definitely something up to personal preference if you like more full coverage or if you like lighter coverage. What I also like about this is that it is also tinted, so it kind of does give a skin tint as well. So it's kind of like 4 makeup steps in one. So I do already have that on for a very light tint, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my concealer as I usually do. Again, I feel like a little bit goes a long way, and you can always layer it. You don't wanna just jump in and immediately start overdoing it. Just some very light dots there. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in. The thing that I'm really excited for with this makeup look is the brows, for one thing. It's always nice to do alopecia brows. I feel like every single time I do my makeup live here on René of Paris, my brow routine is a little different than it was the previous time. We also do these segments sometimes called our Get Ready With Me segments, where we have a guest that will walk me through a makeup look. And every time I do a Get Ready With Me with a guest who does their eyebrows, I feel like I always end up changing my eyebrow technique to whatever they did in that video. So every single time I go live on here, I'm doing something different. I've been doing my brows for alopecia for over 10 years now on a daily basis, and it's always changing. There's times where I think I have a really good brow routine going, and then I see it a few months later and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look as well as I thought it did. So it's always changing. So right now, what I was doing for a while, just to talk about my previous thing and how it has changed, let's see. I can't even find it right now, but normally I would use 2 different pencils. I would use the e.l.f. Brow pencil, which I really, really like for daily brows. But I used to pair that and then layer it with this NYX Lift and Snatch pen. But then I realized that this looks so good on its own as well. This is kind of like, oh, I just realized it is leaking a little bit, so I just have to kind of clean that up a bit. So that's not a good demo of the product right off the bat. I guess I probably hid it in my makeup bag too much, but oh, you know what? I have 2 of them. That's why this one is an old one that's kind of messed up. Here's my normal one. The NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen, it's kind of like a liquid eyeliner, but for your brows, so you can get really, really precise kind of fine lines with it to create the individual brow hair effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows now. So normally what I used to do is use my e.l.f. brow pencil to kind of create a base layer and then layer this on top, because I do like the look of having two different shades of brow color on my brows when I do them, because I think that gives it more dimension. But what I realized is I could actually achieve two different color shades with this one tool. So when I first take the cap off, it's almost like a little bit dried out, but that's kind of good to get that initial brow. And then I'll show you the little trick that I do to kind of get it a little bit darker, just to kind of add more dimension as well. So I kind of just do a layer of individual brow strokes. You can already see how natural that looks just in terms of individual brow hair strokes. Let's see. Something else I always mention with my brows is I feel like brows are one of the first steps that I do in my makeup routine, and then I always end up kind of adjusting them as I go about the rest of my makeup, because once you start putting the rest of your makeup down, you can kind of see where you want them to be on your face. Despite how long I've been doing my brows daily for, I feel like there's days where one is more arched than the other, or one is darker, or they're too close together, they're too far apart. So it's very natural to, if you're doing your makeup with your brows, it's very easy, no matter how long you've been doing it, to have them not be perfectly even. Of course, everyone's heard this phrase by now, but eyebrows are supposed to be sisters and not twins. Nobody's natural brows are perfectly symmetrical, so it's okay if your drawn-on brows aren't either. So now that I kind of have that first layer of brow there, sometimes to get the right shape, I'll even kind of like rub off the excess. Like if one is more arched, I'll just kind of like do that and erase it. And then once you set it with a setting spray, then it will stay and it won't rub off that easily. But it's really nice that you can kind of rub it off before you set it, just to make sure you have the right shape. Now, what I really like to do with the brow pencil is, with the brow pen, because it's kind of a liquid pen, just to get more of that product out, I will kind of like tap it on the inside of the cap. And that will kind of help bring more of the product to the front, and then you get more of like a pigmented shade. And then I just like to kind of layer that in as well, because then it just gives a little bit more dimension. It's so hard to talk while doing this, but as you can see, it just kind of gives it a little more dimension there. So again, the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pencil is just so good for getting that individual brow hair look. So again, today I am doing a holiday makeup look, which I think that will come more in when I do the eyeshadow. But every time I do my makeup on live here, I do like to talk about the alopecia parts of my makeup as well, because that usually comes into play with the way I do my brows and the way I do my eyelashes, which I will do a little bit later. I'm also going to talk about the type of eyelash style that I like to use. So I actually got this multi-pack that I'm going to show you kind of the logic between when I decide to wear something like this or when I decide to wear something like this. You can kind of tell there's 4 styles that come in this package. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can tell which ones are my favorite. The ones that were up here and the ones that were down here, which are actually these. These kind of are a little bit too dramatic for me. I might use these for some costumes, but they kind of are very intense. These are kind of like my more glam lash that I like to wear. So not as intense as this, but I really like this for a glam look. And then if I want more of a natural look, it's kind of more on this side. So it's a little bit tapered, longer on the outside and shorter on the inside. So that's more of like my natural brow look, which still, again, they look very glam, but it's not as intense as the super, super long lashes. So I will get to that later as well. Let's see, I think I did. So for some reason my brows were like, my brow pen was like a little too liquidy. So sometimes I like to actually take my fingernail. It helps if you have long nails for this, just to kind of like, almost helps to like erase or kind of smooth out the color so it's not too intense. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the fun part of a holiday makeup look. We're gonna go for kind of like a glam holiday look here. Let's see, where's my brushes? I'm trying to decide which colors to use. I think kind of like browns, but then add a little bit of a shimmer. So it kind of is like a normal glam look. So if you want to wear this for other occasions, it doesn't specifically have to be for a holiday kind of look. But we're just going to go for that kind of color scheme. Let's see. I almost kind of want to use, actually, I'm going to use This is kind of fun because I'm going to use bronzer as my base. And this is nice because it kind of is another way you can kind of use the same product for multiple different steps. So I think this little bronzer here, I honestly don't often use this as bronzer, so it is nice to be able to use it as eyeshadow as well and let it be multi-use. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right in the crease there. And then we're gonna kind of turn this into like a shimmery sort of look as well. When I'm doing my day-to-day makeup and I'm not going for a glam look, I like to use more bright colors like blues and purples, but whenever I'm going for more of a glam look, I think that the natural colors just look so timeless and classic. So I really do like kind of using those neutral browns and shimmers and such. It's kind of a good for the crease, and then I'm going to add in some of this kind of shimmery color, which I feel like always just gives a little bit of a holiday style as well. Just kind of blend that. I'm actually using my finger a little bit because some eyeshadows I feel like they just apply a little bit better with your finger. Does anybody else feel that way? Kind of blends in nicely with that brown there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and layer a little bit more of that brown shadow in the corner as well. There we go. I'll blend that out. So you could also use another clean fluffy brush just to kind of blend that together. Let's go ahead and do, I'm actually gonna do the rest of my face. So we're gonna do some contour now. I do very simple contour. I don't often contour my cheeks, honestly. Maybe I will do a little bit because we are doing more of a glam. I kind of put a base layer down and then I do blend it out with a bigger fluffy brush. So bear with me here. I like to contour my nose a little as well, just to give my face more dimension. I feel when I do put some sort of tinted concealer or tinted moisturizer on, it kind of just makes my face completely flat one color, and then it's just nice to kind of add a little bit of that natural shading back in with your bronzer and your blush and your highlight. Again, these are things that I used to just never really bother to use with my makeup routine, and now I would almost opt to use it even more than I would opt to do anything else. Like I feel like the things that I always want to have, even for the most basic makeup look, are for me personally my brows and then just a little bit of blush, maybe a little bit of bronzer, and that could be like my makeup look for the day. Whereas in the past, eyeliner used to be a must for me. Now it's more so the face makeup. Let's see here. So here is another fun product that I really, really like. It's these e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands. These were kind of trendy for a bit, but they have them for bronzer, blush, and for highlight as well. So I'm gonna use the highlight one right now. Actually, I'm gonna use blush first. I'm gonna put some powder blush. I also really love this blush because it's a little heart-shaped thing. I like the makeup to look pretty when I'm doing it. Blush is really nice for a holiday look as well because it just always kind of makes any look a little bit extra glam. Love that. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this highlight. So it's kind of fun. It's like a little sponge applicator on top. And you can kind of squeeze a little bit of the product out for like a liquid highlight. And then I just like to put it on my cheekbones, a little bit on the tip of my nose there, just to kind of complete that contour, and then here as well. Okay, so that's already a really nice base there. I'm actually gonna do my lips now because I feel like that already kind of gives it more of a complete look. For a holiday look, I do like to use kind of a darker lip color. So I always use a lip liner that matches the color of my lips because I feel like it just gives them a nice shape, and then I put over whatever lip color that I want to use. Of course, if I'm using like a really dark color, then I like to have a lip liner that's a close color match to the color, but this is just a gloss, so I think it will blend in nicely with my usual lip liner. I love lip liners that are retractable so I don't have to carry around a sharpener, because I always leave my sharpener somewhere, and then when I have a pencil like this and it starts to get dull, I'm always like, oh, what did I do with my sharpener? Okay. Just kind of gives a nice shape to the lips. And I'm using this kind of darker gloss just for a little bit more of a darker lip, which I always like for a holiday look. Okay. Sometimes if I have a darker lip, sometimes I even like to put that color on my cheeks as well. I feel like this is kind of an old makeup trick that a lot of people used to do to kind of like match that shade to your face tone as well. Love the way that looks. It really just kind of evens out the skin tone. So if you look at how my face looked from the beginning of this video, it all just kind of was flat, one color, because I had just put my tinted moisturizer on, and then just adding back in the lights and shadows on your face. So a little bit of contour here and here, a little bit of blush and that lip color, and a little bit of that kind of neutral eyeshadow. I feel like it automatically just looks like a subtle glam. It's funny, I feel like when I'm doing my day-to-day makeup and I'm just having fun with makeup, that's when I do the really bright, fun colors like the blues and purples. But when I'm going more for like a holiday glam, I just go for neutral colors and then shimmer. Like I feel like shimmer just automatically makes any look just a little extra glam. I'm just gonna add a little bit more on as well. But I feel like that's a good start. I feel like you can't really see on the phone camera how pretty and shimmery this is, but it's just a really nice color in person. Just that kind of neutral shimmer. I like to kind of add this to every makeup look that I do. Okay, let's go ahead and do the eyeliner now. And then after I do the eyeliner, that's what I'm going to show you how, like kind of my logic on how I choose brows for my own eye shape. Brows are definitely lashes. I'm talking about lashes here. Lashes are definitely so up to personal preference, because if you look at, there's 4 different styles in this. Again, a lot of them are used up here, but this is the lash that I kind of use as my natural lash. And for some people, that would be way too glam for a natural lash. So there might not even be, like some people might want something even more natural than that. So for my day-to-day lash, I've kind of been wearing these more often because I do like kind of a glam day-to-day look for myself. But when I'm doing more of if I'm wearing it to like a festive event or something like that, I think these just look a little bit less over the top glam, but it almost kind of gives it more of like a classy look. So I'm going to be using these for the look today. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I feel like the big dramatic lashes kind of give like that anime eyes kind of look, and that's what I really like to do for like my day-to-day makeup. But then if I'm doing more of like a classic makeup look, then I like a little bit less over the top. Kind of seems counterintuitive, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, just doing a light black liquid eyeliner. I always like to make sure my wig is pulled back behind my ear or in a clip to make sure I don't get eyeliner in it. With liquid eyeliner, a lot of people ask me how I do my eyeliner. I think it is much easier to do eyeliner like this with your eye open. So, at least for the wings, when you're putting it on your eyelid, it's kind of hard to do it with your eye open. But when you get to this part, I kind of like open and close my eye a lot just to see how it looks. I don't know if I would say I have hooded eyes, but I feel like I have kind of like a hooded corner, if that makes sense. So if I did it with my eye closed and just did a straight line, then it wouldn't look right with my eye open. That's why putting it on with your eye already open, you can just see how it's going to look. And then just check how it looks with your eye closed again and just make sure it looks smooth. And I really like the way that black eyeliner looks with this kind of gradient of eyeshadow as well. Okay. Now let's let's go ahead and do our lashes. So I'm gonna walk you through the whole lash process of what I do here. So again, these are kind of too over the top. I'd probably only use these for costume looks. And let's see. These two are quite similar, but I've been wearing these a lot, and these are kind of, I like kind of how they have like the individual like sections here, and then this is kind of more together. These are really fun for like a lash extension kind of look, and these look a little bit more natural in my opinion. This is something I like to wear for a natural look. Kind of has that tapered look, so it's longer on the outside and shorter on the inside. And I think the tapered look always gives more of a natural look, no matter how long they are. These are definitely more on the glam side, but tapered lashes I think always look a little bit more natural. So you can see those are pretty short on the inside there, and they get quite long on the outside. So the first thing you're going to want to do is carefully take them out of the package. With some lash bands, they can be a little bit more on the flimsy side and they can rip as you're taking them out of the package, so always be really careful. Honestly, when I am choosing lashes for my face, because I have alopecia, lashes that are too flimsy on the band, those are a little bit harder to stay in place if you don't have eyelashes of your own. I find that when I'm trying to apply a flimsy lash, you have to have lashes of your own to kind of hold it up. Whereas when the band is a little bit stiffer, it'll stay in place on its own without having your own lashes. But you also don't want it to be too stiff. Like you want it to be able to bend. Like when you take it out of the package, sometimes really low quality lashes, they will just be a straight line and it's really hard to get them to bend into shape. But these are stiff enough to be able to stay up without my lashes holding them up because I don't have any eyelashes of my own. But they're also flexible enough to be able to shape to your eye shape. So I hope that makes sense. You don't want them to be too flimsy, but you also don't want it to be too stiff, so it's hard to actually get it to stop being like a straight line. So these are fresh out of the package. I'm going to take my little scissor here and trim them because a lot of times, every lash brand is different, but sometimes with the lashes, if you put it up against your eye, the little lash band there is going to be too long for your eyelid. Some might be the right size. Sometimes you get lashes that are already kind of a shorter length, but these are quite long. So whenever I have tapered lashes, I always have a hard time deciding whether I want to trim the shorter side or the longer side. That's really up to your personal preference. If you want to maintain that kind of nice long bit on the end, then you can trim from the shorter side, but I think I'm going for more of a natural look here, so I'm actually going to trim off the outer bit. So I'm kind of trimming that much there. And that's completely up to your eye shape and how long you want the lashes to be on your eyelid. Okay, and then you want to cut the other one the same way. So if you're cutting the long side on one, you want to make sure you're cutting the long side on the other. That only really matters if you are using tapered lashes. If the lashes are the same length on both sides, then it doesn't really make a difference. And then I like to kind of line them up with each other just to make sure they are the same length. Now for my lash glue. If I'm wearing my lashes to an event and I do not want them to budge, this is for a kind of holiday, imagining that you're going to like a holiday event or something like that. If I'm doing lashes for an event and I don't want them to budge, I don't want to have to worry about them falling off all night, then I will actually use two different types of lash glue when I'm applying them, so it just gives that extra hold. So this lash glue here, this is a type that goes directly on the lash band, and this is actually a lash eyeliner, and that you actually put on your eye. So I use both of these so much that they're both almost empty, but I also like to use the lash glue that dries dark because I wear dark eyeliner a lot, so it kind of blends in nicely with that dark eyeliner. But there also is lash glue that dries clear, but I find lash glue that dries clear always looks a little bit white, and I just think that the one that dries dark always blends in so nicely with my eyeliner. So I kind of put the lash glue on the lashes first because you want to put it on the lash band and then wait about 30 seconds for it to get tacky. That's a big mistake that people who are new to lashes often make, is they put the lash glue on the band and then immediately try to put it on their eye. But usually at that point, the lash glue is still too liquidy and it's just going to slip and slide all over the place and be so hard to actually get to stay in place. What you want to do is leave it on the band for 30 seconds, sometimes even up to a minute, depending how much lash glue you put on there. And it also does depend on the brand. I can never get them to stay on. Yes, so that is what I'm gonna address here, some tips to help them stay on, because especially when you're at an event, you don't wanna have to like feel your lash coming up on one side or the other and you're like, what do I do? I have to go to the bathroom so I can touch them up. By the way, as a side note though, that can still happen, but this right here, this is an eyeliner basically, but it's a lash glue eyeliner. What's crazy about this is supposedly it works with both magnetic lashes and regular lashes. I don't use magnetic lashes, but apparently this works for that too. But what's nice about this is you can use it to just, I usually put my regular eyeliner on first and then I put this on top. What's also really nice about this is if your lash does start to come off a little bit on the ends, this is amazing for touch-ups. Before I started using this and my lash started to come off, I would have to take off the whole lash and then completely redo my eyelashes. But with this, if it's coming up just in the corner, I can just like add a little bit in like I'm touching up my eyeliner and then it fixes the lash without having to take them off completely. So that's always really, really nice. Again, I want to avoid getting that in my wig. It's hard to do this and also look at the camera, so bear with me here. So again, if I want to make sure they are staying on throughout the night or wherever I am throughout the day, I like to use 2 different types of lash glue. So I have the lash glue already kind of setting on the band here, and then what I just put on there is also eyelash glue, and that one is really easy to apply. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I'll use just that and the lashes will stay pretty nicely, but sometimes I feel like this by itself doesn't really give it a good hold, but it's really, really good for touch-ups or just giving kind of that extra hold if you use both. But I will say if it's by itself, it is kind of sometimes unreliable depending if you don't put enough. And then once the eyelash glue has gotten tacky enough, you just pop that right into place. So honestly, these looked really big on the packaging. Like they looked like they'd be really big and dramatic, but once they're actually on, they do look pretty natural in my opinion. You're so pretty. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind. Just doing a kind of holiday makeup look here, so anyone watching can achieve this look as well. Yeah, I really love how these look. Like I feel like when I showed them in the package, I was trying to explain that they were like my daily, was that actually my last pair? Oh my gosh. Oh no, I do have one more pair. So you can tell I really like these lashes because it's a set of 4 different lash types and these I obviously like the most. So this is how they looked in the package, and I feel like they look so big and dramatic in the package, but once they're actually on my eye, I feel like they just look so glam and natural, but both. Like they look natural, but like a really nice glam natural, if that makes sense. So with the lashes, I kind of put them in place and then leave them alone for a bit, but then as they're drying, I very lightly kind of push them down to make sure the lash band is completely touching my eyelid. Oh yeah, I use the big lashes for cosplay. Yes, same, exactly. So that's why I really love the multi-pack. So I love wearing these for a day-to-day look if I'm going for more of like a glam, like alternative style kind of makeup, because I do like that look a lot. I like the look of big dramatic eyelashes. But if I'm doing more of a classy look, I actually go for more of a natural look because I feel like having the huge dramatic eyelashes looks a little bit out of place if you're doing like a classic glam, whereas I like the big dramatic ones for day to day. So it's kind of counterintuitive. But yeah, and then like the really big ones, like I feel like something like this would look super out of place if you were trying to do like a classy makeup look. So the really big ones I would use for like costume looks. These medium ones I like to wear for day to day if I'm going for more of like a fun alternative makeup style. And then these shorter classy ones, like these are for like a classy glam. Because they look nice, but they also look natural, but glamorous. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's pretty much it for the makeup. It's honestly pretty straightforward. And compared to how I do my day-to-day makeup, I don't really change up too much to do more of a glam look. day to day, I don't usually wear a lot of eyeshadow. So even just adding some kind of neutral eyeshadow colors just really gives it more of a glam, especially that shimmer for a holiday glam, which is what today's look is for. So I really like how this looks right off the bat. Again, this is the wig style Cheyenne, and I've been trying this because I do personally have an event coming up that's kind of more of like a black tie event. And any event like that around this time of year kind of automatically becomes more of a holiday event, even if it's not specifically supposed to be a holiday event. So already I feel like this is the kind of makeup that I'm going to be doing for this holiday party. I just realized it's a wig. It looked so real. Thank you. That's amazing. That's always a good sign. So yes, this is the wig style Cheyenne from René of Paris here. You can find more info about it on our website, reneofparis.com. But so we have that lace front, lace part, which is what makes it look so incredibly natural. And I'm really loving this wig for a day-to-day look recently because of that natural looking lace front, lace part. And for my personal style, and I wear wigs every single day because I have alopecia. I'm totally bald under this. And personally, for my day-to-day looks, I like to have wigs that are short and straight because I feel like they are just the ultimate ease for styling. Longer wigs, you just have to kind of comb through a little bit more often because they are longer. You just have more hair to work with. Whereas short wigs, I feel like they rarely ever need to be combed except for like the occasional maintenance. And then short styles as well, you don't really have to worry about the curls being kind of maintaining the curls. What I love about synthetic wigs in general is the fact that whatever style it has, it will hold that style and you don't have to style it regularly. But curls you do have to do a little bit tiny more maintenance with. It's nice to have like a wide tooth comb for detangling. You don't want to go in and just brush your curls because it will kind of give them that brushed out look unless you're going for that look. But something else I want to mention for a wig like this, it's so easy that if you want to keep it perfectly straight, the René of Paris hot tool is so good for that. This is a tool designed specifically for synthetic wigs. So normally with synthetic wigs, you could not use heat on them. If they're not heat friendly, you can't go using any straightening iron on them because it will damage them. But this is so nice. I always keep this with me wherever I go, like if I'm traveling or whatnot. I don't usually keep it in my purse, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past me either. I probably have done that once or twice. But I just mean if I'm traveling, I always bring this. I always want to have access to this when I need it. So I push the button, it's just heating up, which just really takes like a few seconds, really. But what's really nice about straight styles like this is it already comes pin straight and it stays like that on its own without any maintenance. But if it's starting to get a little bit tangled or whatnot, I always brush through it with my regular wig brush. This is a really nice René of Paris wig brush, which I always like to keep even if I'm traveling. But then if you find that the hair is kind of like bending just from like being against your clothing a lot, or maybe you washed it and it didn't dry perfectly straight, this is so nice for just kind of giving it a quick touch up to give it that pin straight look. You also can add waves and curls into a wig with this hot tool, which is designed for synthetic wigs, but that is a little bit more time consuming and you have to be a little bit more careful. Whereas straightening a wig style like this just takes 2 seconds. And even though this wig naturally is straight and will hold its style, it's so nice just to give it that extra sleek look to it. Of course, with a straight style like this is Cheyenne, again, is the style name, in the color Melted Marshmallow. And this wig does come pin straight like this. But what's really nice about this as well is if you wanted to kind of customize it to your own preference, if you want it to kind of be like curled out on the ends, you could kind of add that in, or you can kind of style it so it's curved in a little bit. Let's try to do that right now. It's very subtle, but if you want it to be kind of like curved in or curved out, you can add that in. So again, if I was doing kind of more of a holiday look, for example, I would take that hot tool and kind of maybe curve it in more just to give it a little bit of a difference to it. Or maybe I could add waves to this so you could see what I did there with the styling. I kind of made it go from pin straight, which is how it comes, which I love the way that looks, but to give it more of a styled look, kind of curving it in more also just looks so nice. Also, with these lace front and lace part wigs, I really like to kind of utilize that with my styling. So now we're getting more into the hairstyling if I'm doing kind of a glam holiday look. With monofilament caps, lace front, and lace part caps, it's so nice to be able to have the flexibility to like brush it back and use that as part of your glam look. So to kind of like pull it back like this, because then you still have that natural looking hairline in the front. So you can really kind of like take advantage of that and just do styles you couldn't do otherwise if you didn't have that lace front. Just as an example here, you could really kind of like pull that all back. Let's go ahead and use a hair tie. Kind of give it like a half up, half down look. So it kind of gives it a little bit of extra volume. Pull it forward a little bit. If you ever feel like your lace front wig is slipping back regularly, it's also nice to kind of adjust the wig cap a little, so you could even just make it a little bit tighter. And now, if you kind of did like a half up down look, you could also just add like a little clip here or add a bow. You could put a clip anywhere really, just kind of put it like, even just adding it here would kind of look really pretty. But for any holiday glam look, it's fun to just use little accessories to add to the look. With short wig styles like this as well, I also like to add other accessories like earrings. So with short styles in particular, I feel like earrings can really shine in terms of like being more of the center of the look. So if I added in these kind of earrings, whenever I wear longer wig styles, which I have some other ones that I'm going to show you in just a moment, whenever I wear longer styles, I like to wear big statement earrings because they kind of show underneath the hair a little bit more, whereas with a long wig, if you wear studs or something like that, they're probably not going to be very visible. But with shorter wigs, if the hair is a bit shorter, then you will see the earrings a little more, so they can kind of be more of the centerpiece of the look. For some reason, I feel like I always need a mirror when putting on earrings, even though you can't even really see what you're doing. Is it in? I don't wear earrings super often, if you can't tell. Let's see here. I'm trying to do this without a mirror, which is always hard for me for some reason. These moments on live stream are always really funny because you're like, why can't I put an earring on? Let's see. I'm using a little hand mirror, so it's hard to look in the mirror as I'm doing it. I could just put this down. Okay, so I'm also going to show you a few other wig styles as well, and show you other ways that I might style them for a holiday kind of look. For a holiday look, I just love incorporating little accessories. Okay, I think we got the earring in now. These are also new, so they're the first time I'm ever trying to put them on. They're a little bit odd, but I really like the look, and you'll get the grand reveal. Ow, you know what? I think this is why, because the back of it is bent a little forward, so I'm gonna stop trying because this is probably really funny to watch right now. Let's see here. You can see how the other earring looks at least. This is quite a strange earring design. Okay, but look at these. It looks really pretty here, and especially with a shorter style like this, you can kind of wear slightly smaller earrings. Of course, these aren't like studs, but studs would look really nice with this look as well. But if I was to wear this with a longer wig, they probably would be covered up a bit more. But with a shorter wig, they kind of get a little bit more of the attention, if you will. So this already looks really nice as a kind of glam look. If a wig cap fits you properly, you should be able to put it behind your ears like that. So it's nice to be able to have earrings as part of the statement piece. I'm also going to put on this necklace because, again, with shorter hairstyles, you can't always do a lot with them in terms of putting them up because they are shorter. But then that just means it's an even better opportunity to incorporate more accessories into the look. So I'm going to put on this necklace as well. Nice and simple, but just really kind of adds more of a glam look. Of course, I am wearing my holiday sweater for the sake of doing a fun holiday video, but just imagine I'm wearing a sparkly gown or something like that. This would be a really, really nice look with that as well. So the kind of very simple but really kind of glamorous chain here with this earring. Like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try on some of the longer styles. This is how I might style like a shorter wig. Again, putting this hair clip on top is nice. Let me show you how I would do that. If I was wearing the wig already, I would just put it in without looking while I have the wig on my head. You can see how that looks. But to check how it is, I just take the wig off and I eyeball it. So here I definitely put it in crooked, but you can literally see the back of your head and fix the clip. So I'm just gonna kind of adjust that. If you're using a hair tie, then you wanna be able to kind of cover the hair tie with the hair clip. I think I also have a lot of hair there, but you can kind of see, you can kind of make it look a little bit more glam. But it is so nice to be able to very conveniently be able to take off your hair and literally see the back of your head. I really want to try to get this other earring on, but for some reason I was having so much trouble. You know what? I think they're just not even. It's a bit of a strange earring design. There we go. Okay, there we go, much easier. I also just like the way this looks with the shaved head. Wearing earrings with the shaved head always looks so cute. And again, you can really see the earrings there. Let's just try on a couple of other wig styles. We have one of my favorite styles here, which is Angelica. I actually have Angelica here in 2 colors. This is in creamy blonde, which I absolutely love. I really love creamy blonde as a platinum color, but it's also not too shiny, so it looks like a really natural platinum color as opposed to looking wiggy or anything like that. That's the difference between a high quality wig and a low quality wig, is you can get like a low quality blonde wig, but it's gonna be super shiny, whereas this is like shiny in the way that it's like a healthy hair style, but not so shiny in the sense that it looks like fake hair. Like even though it's synthetic, it really just looks like nice, healthy human hair. Just so beautiful. I also just love all the different shades. You can really see it's not all just one color. It's very dynamic, but very, very subtle. Love, love, love this color. Again, this is the style Angelica, which is very popular. So really nice for a holiday glam look as well. Kind of giving it more of that brushed out look at the moment just to detangle it. Because the previous wig I was wearing was a little bit of a darker shade of blonde and has a bit of a root. I had a darker brow on before, but if I was to wear this shade, I probably would go a little bit lighter on the brows. But I absolutely love this wig, and it is so nice for a kind of glam look. Again, I just love the up-down, half up, half down look. Automatically can totally transform a wig, and I feel like it can be dressed up or dressed down. Like if you do a half up, half down, or just kind of do it in like a quick little ponytail, it can be a way to kind of make a wig look more casual. But if you do kind of like a low pulled back look like that, and then add in that same hair clip that I had before, that kind of sparkly rhinestone hair clip, that's also a nice way to glam it up a little bit. I also love wearing bows in the back of my hair. I love adding in braids. So for a holiday look, I might even add in a small braid in the front. Like so. And then kind of incorporate that into the look and kind of pull that back so you can see like that, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a glam. I just did that quickly just to kind of get the idea across. But yes. So love Angelica. Again, I feel like the trick to doing kind of like a classy glam holiday look is really just to do the kind of makeup that you're used to doing on a day-to-day basis, but just add the fine touches. Like if you don't normally do more face makeup, add a little bit of extra blush. Maybe if you're not used to experimenting with lashes, it's a fun time to try to do something with lashes. If you are planning on doing fake lashes for a look and you've never done them before, I highly recommend trying them out at home first when you're not in a rush, because it definitely took me quite a few times trying fake lashes before I was comfortable putting them on quickly. You don't want the first day you try to wear lashes to be the day of the event where you want your makeup to look perfect. You want to definitely practice with it a little bit more. Love the way this hair looks as well. What's really nice about these wig styles is because they come with these beautiful styles fresh out of the box. You don't need to do any sort of maintenance to them. If you are wearing them to more of a glam look, you don't have to do anything to style them. But even just being able to kind of pull it back slightly is really nice. I did mention that I have two Angelicas here. I do have one of the limited edition colors, Red Copper, which is one of my favorite wig colors of all time. Again, one of the limited edition colors, which I believe is still available. You can even go to our warehouse store. We have a little bit of warehouse sales section on the website where I think these colors are still available. You have to double check me on that if you go to reneeofparis.com. But this gorgeous color is so fun for a holiday look as well. So lovely. But other accessories you can add to this, like that just gave a whole kind of different vibe to it as well, just by changing the color, because it is the same wig style. But I really love berets for a holiday look as well. Just kind of adding it on top of that is such a nice way to accessorize in such an easy, simple way. And that just looks so lovely. Like this is something that I would totally wear to a little holiday party or get together or something like that. I think that just looks so cute and charming. So with your wigs, it's so fun to kind of accessorize in ways, especially around the holiday season. I love using rhinestone clips like the one I just had. It's probably still on the other wig. I have so many things around me. Oh, here it is. Yes. Like this kind of rhinestone clip is so pretty and such a nice way to kind of accessorize your wigs. I love using bows, so you can really take a simple hairstyle like a half up, half down ponytail, which is really easy to do even if you don't have much hairstyling, and add in like a big bow or add in a sparkly clip like this. Like this was such a cheap clip. Let's just be real here. This was a little cheap clip that I got at the store, but it just looks so pretty and it can really just dress up any look. I love this so, so much, and I will definitely be wearing this to all my holiday parties this season. Not that I'm going to that many, but you know, if I go to any, then I'll wear this. And again, being able to change up the hairstyles as well. One more wig that I'll show, because I think this might be one that I am wearing to a holiday party for real, is this is my sage wig in the color Watermelon R. With this style, I like to use my René of Paris wide tooth comb here, which is really good for detangling wavy or curly styles. This style just has a very slight wave to it, and if I was to go in there with a brush, it certainly wouldn't damage it, but it would kind of give the waves more of a brushed out feel and look to it. But a wide tooth wig comb is really good for detangling the waves without changing their shape. So Sage is a wig that I have in two colors. It's one of my absolute favorites. I probably wouldn't wear Watermelon with a red sweater, but maybe a black sweater. Although it does look nice because Watermelon has a really subtle kind of pink tone to it. So it actually does look pretty nice with the red sweater as well. I wasn't sure how that would look, but it's almost more like a blonde shade with a little tint of a pinky color. Thus the name of Watermelon. But this style just looks so glam out of the box, just really like kind of blown out kind of look with those curtain bangs. Again, you have that lace front, lace part, so you can do a lot with kind of pulling it back and just instantly looking so glam. And so the last style I'll do for this video is I will do a slight pulled back look. So this isn't like a full on half up, half down ponytail, but I might not even use the hair tie. I might just use the clip, because if you use just the clip, you could pull back just a little bit of the hair and then just kind of give it a little piece here. So if you're tying back more hair, you want to use a hair tie and then put the clip on top. But if you are just using the clip, you want to just only pull back a little bit of hair, not too much. So something like that. And then once it's in the clip, you kind of want to comb through it again, just to make sure. And that already, just having those pieces pulled back, kind of lets these front face framing layers show a little bit more, so you kind of have more of a glam look. And then in the back, the trick I was saying before, you can always take the wig off to make sure it looks even. So it looks pretty good, but here I just have some strands that are going to the side a little bit more than I would want them to. So I'm actually gonna pull those out, fix that. But it is just so nice to be able to take off your hair and check the back of your head rather than having to do the trick with like putting two mirrors up against each other or like taking a picture of the back of your head. You can literally just take off your hair and check that it's nice and smooth. Maybe comb it out a tiny bit more. But that just looks so pretty. Like, it's such a simple style, but whenever I kind of want to glam up a wig just a little, I'll kind of pull back a little bit of the hair. So it's not like a full-on half up, half down. I feel like a half up, half down ponytail can look a little bit more casual, but this is just kind of pulling back a few of the strands, especially if you incorporated like a braid being pulled back here. That would just automatically kind of elevate it to more of a glam look. And again, just being able to take off your hair to check the back of your head to make sure it's styled nicely is so nice. And then you just are good to go. I can't really show you the back of my head right now easily, but you get the idea. So here is the final holiday look that I'm going for today. And then just imagine that I'm changing into more of a kind of sparkly dress for a holiday look would be really fun. And just simple accessories like this just really add so much to the look as well. I love wearing a lot of blush for more of a glam holiday look, and lashes like this I think are just so perfect because they kind of give you that glamorous lash look, but they're still more on the natural side, which I think is really good for kind of a classy glam look as well. And this wig, again, I really didn't do much to it, and that's what's so nice about these really nice synthetic wigs is that they are ready to go right out of the box. You don't have to spend a lot of time styling because it just holds its style. So you're ready to go. I love the ease and the convenience of that. So for example, like I really love wearing human hair wigs sometimes as well, but those take more styling. So I wear synthetic on almost a daily basis because I don't have to put in any time or effort into the styling, which I just love to be able to throw something on and go. So that's really nice for this wig, which is Sage in Watermelon. So again, this was just a little holiday look glam live stream here with René of Paris, and I had so much fun hanging out with you all as I was getting ready, doing my makeup and styling my wigs. If you are just joining this video or you missed the beginning and you want to go back and re-watch from the beginning and see the whole makeup look, including my alopecia brows and my fake lashes that I like to do for alopecia as well, because I don't have any brows or lashes either, you can go back and re-watch on our page, René of Paris, and re-watch it from the beginning if you missed anything. And again, from all of us here at René of Paris, happy holidays. I hope you really enjoyed this holiday season. It's always such a beautiful, fun time of year. And thanks so much again for hanging out with us today. And we will see you next time when we're live. Bye, everyone.